Hey there, carnivore hunters. I went to edit this video tonight and realized I had intended to preface this with a warning that this is going to get a little bit gross. I'm going to talk about a condition I developed, and so we're going to be talking about some poop. And I'll try to actually going through it. It's not as bad as what I thought it would be, but just know that we're going to be talking about some poo. So let's get on with the video. Good afternoon, carnivore hunters. This is Rick. I want to follow up on this video. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it, then come back and watch this. But this video talks about my brother and I falling off the wagon while we were on our ATV trip, meaning we cheated on the carnivore diet. And in the video, you hear me say the last couple of days, my stomach was starting to feel a little bit upset, which was an understatement. My stomach was feeling a lot upset. What I wound up finding out is I had diverticulitis. And so if you don't know what that is, stick around and listen to what I got to say, because you're going to want to know this should it ever happen to you or one of your loved ones. And so I felt like I had diarrhea because of the crampy feeling, as I said. And that went into our last couple of days. And then, so the day that we were packing up to come home, I was kind of scared because I was feeling really bad. I was running to the restroom every few minutes, but when I would go, not a lot would come out, and so I was kind of confused why I felt like I had diarrhea, but I nothing hardly was coming out. And what worried me is that from our destination to my driveway is a 5.5 hour drive. And what made it worse was there were a couple of delays on the way home. So my 5.5 hour trip went to it was like 7.5, 8 hour drive home, feeling like I had to relieve myself every 20 minutes. So it was a miserable ride. Some of the symptoms I had, let's talk about that. Aside from the cramped stomach feeling, my stomach also felt like it was very sensitive to pressure. So my whole gut area and my left side too. For some reason, my right side didn't feel as bad, but my left side, it just felt very sensitive to pressure. I couldn't rest my arms on it. I just couldn't do anything. I felt like either my stomach would pop or I would push everything out that I felt like was being stuck up in there. Another symptom is I'm typically, since I've been on carnivore, I've been a solid 4 on the Bristol stool scale. If you don't know what that is, Google it and check it out, because that's a good indicator of your gut health, I believe. And since the cramping and everything started, I'm right on about a 6 on the Bristol scale. But I think the difference is it's a 6, but it also looked, my stool looked kind of like it had hair in it or something. It was kind of stringy and just really weird. And then when I would wipe, whatever's left on the paper looked really greasy or almost gelatinous. It was really strange. Let me see here. By the time I got home after 8 hour drive, I could feel that my colon was swollen. I'm a poet and I didn't know it. And so I went from thinking, do I have diarrhea, or is this swollenness backing me up? That, like, I can't pass anything because everything's swollen, or maybe my intestines have a cramp or something in there. And um, so when I thought it was diarrhea, I tried to take an Imodium, which probably made it worse. Um, but then when I started thinking, oh, maybe I'm backed up, I said, well, let me try a stool softener. And that did seem to help a little bit, but not a lot. And the other symptom I had was right below my belly button. And, I envisioned my intestines going down like this below my belly button, and it just felt like I had a brick sitting in there. Um, it just, I felt like there was just a whole bunch of stuff sitting in there, and that was a very, very uncomfortable feeling as well. Um, so, after about a week of feeling this way, my wife finally said, "You're going to the doctor," and she made me an appointment. And so I go to the doctor, and I had some lab work done, again, unintentionally. The good news is, from that lab, side note, my liver's back in check now. So I was really happy about that. Aside from this gut issue I'm dealing with, all my other health is improving, and you'll see that in my next lab video. Where was I? So my wife, uh, you know, sent me a doctor. He did some lab work, and he even asked me if I'd ever been diagnosed with diverticulosis. That was the first time I heard that word, is when he asked me that, and I was like, I don't even know what that is, so I'm gonna say no. Stupid fly. So he ordered a CT scan for the next day. So I went in, I got the CT scan, and those results came back really fast. I was pretty surprised, because my doctor called me that afternoon and said, "Yeah, you've got diverticulitis." And I said, "Well, what causes that?" And so what diverticulitis is in your colon and your large intestines, you get these pockets, and if supposedly if food or other oils, whatever, get in there, it can inflame, uh, and that's diverticulitis. Diverticulitis. Um, and so when I asked him what caused that, he said, "Well, there's a belief that nuts cause the problem." And I thought, wow, that makes sense, because we were cheating on this ATV trip. I had some trail mix, I had some peanut M&Ms, and all this other stuff. And but he did also note that it hasn't been proven that nuts are the cause. And I thought, well, it kind of makes sense. So I was kind of leaning toward that at that time. But me being who I am, I had to go dig in just a little bit more. And so I started looking up all the carnivore doctors and their thoughts on it. And Dr. Ken Berry, he actually has a really good video on it with a study debunking the nuts. The study he has says nuts are not the cause of this diverticulitis. Um, he's saying, what, according to this study, being overweight, which I'm working on, smoking, and I don't smoke, but I do chew tobacco, so I'm wondering if it's just the nicotine or the other chemicals they put in there. And there was something else he said. But anyway, and then I watched Dr. Eric Berg after that, and he pretty much echoed what Dr. Berry said. But then I went and watched some of the naysayers, and they're saying, "Oh, yeah, it's the nuts." And so I mean, yeah, Dr. Berry has a study, but I don't know if it's enough to convince me that I'm still not saying I'm not saying it's not the nuts, but I need to do a little more digging. And that's kind of why I wanted to get out here and talk to you guys about this, because I really would like to hear especially from those of you that have had diverticulitis. What did you do to take care of it? What are you doing to prevent getting it in the future? Because once I get rid of this, I don't want it to come back. And if it's because I ate a peanut, I'll stop eating peanuts, because I don't want to feel this way ever again. Anyway, like this video if you got any value out of it. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Like I said, I got some more good data for my blood work to share with you guys later down the road. And have a great afternoon. We'll talk to you all later.